Okay, I'm Johnathan. I'm an 11th grader at Columbia High School.
Okay.
I'm here with the Robotics team.
Okay. So, have you lived here your whole life?
I lived in Los Angeles for the first 3 years of my life, moved to Maplewood after that. So
Okay.
I've lived in Maplewood for the past 13 years. So yeah,
So currently.
pretty much, yeah.
All right. So you're a New Jersey kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think of like South Orange Maplewood?
I really like it. I like how it's very a really tight knit community. I love how it's everything's within walking distance. I don't really remember my time in LA, but from what I do, it was like crazy because you had to drive everywhere, and
Right.
everyone was just really everywhere. So I definitely much prefer Maplewood to South Beach.
Yeah. Like having things walking distance is so much nicer.
Yeah, it's great.
What do you think of Columbia?
I really like it. Especially this year, I really like all my teachers. They're great. They've got a great program there for students like me who are pushing the limits of what we can do. Like I'm trying to take as many courses in the AP and honors departments as I can, and they're flexible in that. They're letting me try to change my schedule a little bit to accommodate what I want to do.
So who's your favorite teacher?
I have to go with Mr. Festeling, my AP
God.
Chem teacher from last year. I'm going to be TAing for him starting Tuesday, Tuesdays and Thursday mornings.
Wait, you're in 11th grade now?
Yeah, so I'll get a year early.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I had Mr. Festival. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's like, he really knows his chemistry.
Yes.
Like, he's got it down pat.
Yeah.
But, why did you join the robotics club?
Well, I wanted to join my freshman year, but I was playing soccer, so I didn't end up joining my freshman year. Mistake that I realize now. This past year, last year, my sophomore year, I wasn't on the soccer team anymore. I decided not to play, so I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything. So might as well join the robotics club because I found it interesting. I've always found science, math, engineering, all that to be interesting.
Right.
And I just wanted to kind of see how it works. So I joined that with very little knowledge of robotics in particular, but I had a knowledge in engineering in general. So I quickly learned how to do it and had a lot of fun with it.
So, what is your favorite part? Like, are you like a building team, or do you also do programming for it?
Well, for the robotics team, then we have to both build and program it.
Yeah.
I specialize in building, and mostly, even more specialized, I know electrical engineering, which I think there's one other person on the team who knows how to wire a circuit well. So that's usually what I end up doing. I also this year I'm taking a more we have a lot of good builders, so I'm taking a more of a kind of not specific kind of robot approach, but more of a club approach. Like I'm dealing with scouting scouting other teams at competitions. I'm going to be working on outreach. I'm working on the engineering notebook, which is the log of what we do every day.
Okay.
So I'm going to be helping the club helping the club, but not by building robots around.
Oh, okay. So you're just kind of a helper.
This year, yes,
Okay.
because we have a few seniors, and most of them are very good builders.
Okay.
So I'm still going to be helping build the robot. I'm still going to be wiring it.
Yeah.
But this year, I'm taking more of that approach because I basically want to help the club the best way I can, and that is the best way to help the team and the club this year.
But next year you're going to be a senior.
Yeah, next year, me and another junior, we're both good builders. We're probably even. He might be better in one aspect, I might be better in another, but we're probably going to end up being the lead builders next year. We're going to be, the ones that actually build the robot for the most part.
Okay. So can you tell us some robot basics? I don't know. How do you when you start building your robot? What is it? What are some of the basic essentials that you would need?
Basically, well, it varies year to year because there's a different game every year that you have to build your robot around.
Right.
This year, the main idea of the game is there's small plastic cubes that you have to be able to pick up off the floor and put into bins that are, I think, 17 or 18 inches above the ground.
Okay.
So this year, what we're looking for is anything, and you can only hold 4 cubes at a time. So this year, we're looking for something that can successfully move those cubes from the floor to there, to the bins. So what we've decided to do for this year is we have the little conveyor belts
Okay.
that's going to grab the cubes, put them into a little bin of sorts that's going to be on sliders. That's just going to go up, straight up, and it's going to dump it into the bucket. So that's what we decided for this year. Last year it was rings, pegs to other pegs, so we decided on an extendable arm.
Okay.
So, but we always, even the basic things like the chassis, just the basic wheel drive, that can vary from year to year. So there's no real thing you have to do from year to year, but you can work on, because you might maybe recycle one thing for 1 year, but next year it's how it needs to.
Oh, okay. You have fun.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. The design team at FTC does a good job of making the games. It's challenging for returners. Like, we are now an experienced team, even though last year was my first year. I would say that I have a decent amount of experience in robotics because our team did end up winning state. One of the 3 teams that won states last year.
Yeah.
Both teams actually won states. Both the junior varsity and the varsity teams won the state tournament. So, but it's challenging for people like me who return. But it's also easy enough that if you're a rookie team like we were last year, you can build a robot that can do what it needs to do, even with starting with minimal experience.
Oh, okay. Do they give you any kind of information or any kind of helping guidelines when they give you the task of the game?
Well, they release a video every year.
Okay.
So, and then they have 4 model robots that are done by computer programming, so they don't look anything like robots we would build.
Okay.
But from those robots, usually you don't use any ideas that they present, but sometimes if you see the way they do something, then you might want to incorporate it. For example, in the video this year, there's a flag that has to be raised by turning the spinner, and one of the robots in there was a little kind of elephant-like thing, and it just put its tail on it and started spinning it. So we actually liked that idea. We were taking a weak Lego motor and just putting a little thing on it that can clip onto it and just spin and raise the flag.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you can get inspiration from what they do.
Right, but oftentimes most of the inspiration will come from yourself, and then the first competition is very important because go out to see if your robot doesn't work, then you look for more ideas. You're surrounded by 20 other teams that have robots. Some which work, some which don't.
Right.
But you can use those ideas that they have and say, oh, I like that idea, but we want to incorporate like this. So there's infinite robots you can build, and often you'll design it based off somebody else's, like you like this part of theirs and like that part of theirs, and you just build it.
Okay. So my other question is, how do you balance the robotics club with your schoolwork? I know you're taking a lot of classes.
Yes, it's definitely not easy. There's a lot of, robotics takes a lot of time, and schoolwork does as well. Early in the season, like it is now, robotics meets maybe twice a week. We meet once a week after school in our advisor's room, and once a week, usually on a Saturday or Sunday, at like someone's house to have a build and build a robot.
Okay.
So that takes up a few hours a week, but when it gets to later stages, it takes up a lot more. The trick with balancing is I use that time wisely. If I get homework in my early periods of the day, I try to finish them in later periods that I have free. For example, I use my lunch. I don't usually go to the cafeteria and eat lunch. I usually go to the library and work on homework because I know that I need my time after school to dedicate to robotics or other homework.
What do you do about lunch?
Well, I eat my lunch usually when I'm walking home because that way I have that time I can't really use for anything else.
Yeah.
So my schedule is very heavy packed because aside from robotics, I'm also in quiz bowl and a bunch of other science competitions.
Right. I was gonna say, are you involved in other sports?
Yeah, I'm involved in I think 3 or 4 other clubs as well, which meet usually once a week.
Okay.
So I really need as much time as I can get. So the lunch period is a 45-minute period, and with library access, I have access to computers if I need them, and it's quiet, so it's definitely a period I like to take advantage of.
Oh, nice. Last question, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah.
What is your goal when you graduate?
When I graduate, I personally am looking to go into the field of chemistry maybe more specifically in chemical engineering. I haven't really decided how specific I want to go yet, but I'm definitely looking into something chemistry related because I've always loved chemistry, and I do like robotics, and that's always going to be a hobby of mine. But maybe I'll do chemical engineering because that has a little bit of the engineering aspect. But I don't know because engineering it's a lot of fun, but I don't know if I want to necessarily pursue it. I haven't completely decided, and I have a year or 2 to figure that out.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.